the vegetation, types of trees which are found in this area, between which longitude and which longitude. Okay. Also, what you've noticed is I have arranged the climate by continental margin. So, for example, China monsoon climate is on eastern margin. Deserts are on western margin of tropics. You will understand that, like in the basic geography class, you must have already covered all that. But the idea is, if you arrange it that way, like it helps me remember it at least. Okay, so these basic details, this kind of summary sheet of vegetation, if you have, it will really help you solve all the questions related to related to climate. We'll try and come to questions also today. So I'll just quickly recap and also provide some other details that I might have missed when we were covering this yesterday. Okay, so we're doing like vegetation and climatic regions across the world. We completed till savanna. Okay, till savanna, let me just do a quick 5 minute recap and then we'll try and complete climate in the rest of today. So we started with tropical rainforest, tropical equatorial. Okay, details to remember. Let's be quick about this. 0 to 10 degrees north and south. Temperature is around 27 degrees Celsius average. Rainfall is generally higher than 200 centimeters. And we spoke about the climatic regions. This will be there in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Africa. We said that specifically in Amazon, they're known as selvas. Selvas term is important. Okay. Then we spoke about the canopies. That there's a canopy level of vegetation with different levels. That there's no climatic changes. There's no winter season, and you have rainfall throughout the day, throughout the year. Okay. Just add this, which I think I might have missed, which are the important species. Species in this area, like wood, is ebony, mahogany, rosewood. Ebony, mahogany, rosewood, in case you might have missed it earlier. Okay. Then another important term is epiphytes. That the adaptation of in this area is known as epiphyte. It is known as epiphyte. Yeah, I'll send the spelling. All this is equatorial climate. Equatorial climate, I'm revising again with one or two details that I might have missed. So epiphytes, spelling, I'll send. So just, it's a technical term. Epiphytes, you need to epiphytes are the name, technical term for plants living in this region. Okay, epiphytes. And epiphytes are generally like these climbers, creepers, these types of plants. Okay. Then tropical deciduous monsoon type climate, which we said is there in Indian subcontinent, is there in China, there in Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. Okay. There's wet and dry seasons. Wet and dry seasons mean that during dry season they shed leaves. Shed leaves meaning what is the type of tree? Deciduous tree. Okay. And deciduous tree, then we spoke about the rainfall. Rainfall is generally around 150 centimeters. 150 centimeters of rainfall, and it is concentrated in the wet season. That the distinct dry season, distinct wet season. Trees which are present in this, which I missed yesterday. Trees which are present in this region are teak, sal, deodar, teak, sal, deodar, eucalyptus, right? Like very logical way of remembering. Yeah, bamboo is found in China. China is known for bamboo, so deciduous, bamboo must be deciduous. Bamboo. Teak, sal is found in India. Deodar also very Indian name, Indian tree. Then savannas. Savannas is where we stopped yesterday. So savannas, we said, is in the like, look at the in the diagram. In the diagram, savannas will come right after deciduous. Okay, so it comes in the central part. And it has between 10 and 30 degrees north and south. It comes in the interiors of the continent. Okay, savanna comes in the interior part of the continent. We used the term yesterday, which is transition climate. It is the transition climate between deciduous and deserts. Okay, so transition meaning what? Transition meaning it has characteristics of both. What are the characteristics of both? That the grasses are very tall, but the trees are short. Okay, deciduous trees, what do we say? Deciduous trees normally are tall, like tall, useful wood, like tal, sesham, rose, like these are tal, sal, they're all teak, sal, they're all used for wood making. They're all used for furniture making also, right? But here the trees become shorter, grasses become taller. Then we discussed some names, some technical names like Llanos, Campos in Brazil, Llanos in Cambodia, Venezuela. Then even here we said that there is an alternate wet and dry season. There's an alternate wet and dry season. And temperature again here also doesn't change too much. It goes from around 25 degrees to 35 degrees. Okay. And yesterday I mentioned what the vegetation here is. Vegetation is acacia, baobab, and another important term we used is parkland vegetation, parkland or bushveld. Okay, again, this term is also very important. And just when you're making those notes, when you're making your concise summary, big sheet summary, these terms need to be there. You should never be confused about parkland vegetation. Is it savanna? Is it steppes? Is it prairies? Okay, you need to be very clear that parkland vegetation is specific to savanna. And reason is that from climatic regions, questions have been asked. Every year, questions have been asked in climatic region. Not only in prelims, also in mains. Every year, questions have been asked on physical geography, climatic regions. So you need to be very thorough in this. So yeah, let's come to deserts now. Let's come to deserts. So deserts, again, between 10 and 30 degrees north and south, 10 and 30 degrees north and south on the western margin, 10 and 30 degrees west and south on the western margin. So we did eastern margin, we did interior, we did west. We are doing western margin now. And western margin, reason for desertification, this concept is important. So concept is that when the easterlies, we know that in the tropics, the wind, the weather is influenced by easterlies. When easterlies are flowing, easterlies bring rain. They bring rain to the eastern part. Eastern part, you have high rainfall, 150 centimeters, higher than 150 centimeters, generally 175 or so, 150 centimeters. So you have big, tall trees, deciduous trees. Then that rain, that easterly rain reduces when it comes to interior, around 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters of rain concentrated in a wet period, which is why you have savanna. By the time it comes to eastern, western margin, like eastern, it's coming from the east, eastern margin, you have lots of rain. So interior, you have less rain. By the time it comes to western margin, to the deserts, there is no rain. There is no rain, which is why the rainfall is very low. Rainfall is less than 50 centimeters of rain. Rainfall is less than 50 centimeters of rain, which is why you have desert. So in this logic, you have to remember that western margin has deserts. In tropical regions, western margins have deserts. This clarity is very important because this will reverse later. As you go to higher altitudes, this will reverse. We'll come to that soon, but remember that western margin, tropical region is desert and very little rainfall, less than 50 centimeters. Most of these regions have less than 25 centimeters also. Very little rain. Temperature is generally very high. Temperature is higher than 35 degrees Celsius. Okay. The way you remember this concept is correlate with India. Like you can't, or correlate with Africa. Okay. Africa, where is Sahara? Sahara is on the western margin. Sahara is on the western margin. Okay. And there's no rain over there. There is obviously all desert conditions, very dry weather, low rainfall, intense heat, lots of heat waves, all those characteristics. Okay. There is one additional factor which you need to remember, which coincides with the desertification. So, and this is the existence of cold currents. Near the deserts, there is the existence of cold currents. So, even on the African western coast, there is a cold current. Along with this rainfall factor, there are two big factors. Rainfall is one huge factor. If there's no rain, it will lead to deserts, obviously. Along with rain, another huge factor is cold current. Cold currents are there near the western margin. That cold current has a technical term known as desiccating effect. Cold current has a technical term known as desiccating effect. Again, like I've been saying all throughout, these technical terms extremely important. Desiccating effect. So desiccating effect meaning the moisture reduces. Ability for rainfall, capacity for rain reduces. Apart from Sahara, just some general examples that you can remember, right? Kalahari Desert in Africa is also due to Kalahari, Namib Desert. These are all also due to the same climatic factors. Atacama Desert in Chile, in South America, is also similar. Californian desert in California, obviously, is also similar. So let's come to vegetation. Vegetation here has a technical term. The technical term here is xerophyte. Remember we said epiphyte. Epiphyte is for evergreen forests in tropical regions. Xerophyte is the desert vegetation. Okay, xerophyte. I'll send the spelling. So xerophyte is desert vegetation. And there are some important adaptations for desert vegetation we've done since school only. Okay, like desert vegetation has deep roots, waxy leaves, hard stems, then needles. All these you already know. Okay, and basically another important feature of deserts is that the vegetation in these deserts lies dormant, meaning it will just stay there. It will not bloom unless there is rain. But immediately when there is rain, the flowers all bloom, and then it looks very pretty for 1-2 days. That within a day of rain, there is vegetation. Vegetation will suddenly grow. You'll see grasses, you'll see flowers, you'll see everything. But then after this is over, into 1-2 days, again it will all wither and die. So now let's come to the next region. Next region is this temperate grasslands. Okay, I'm just doing temperate grasslands along with this because we just did savanna and we just did this thing. We just did savanna and we just completed deserts. Okay, so temperate grasslands, refer to the diagram I sent you. In that diagram, you'll see temperate grasslands are between 30 and 60 degrees, north 30 and 40 degrees also, north and south, 45, north and south, and it is in the interior of continents. Temperate grasslands is 30 to 45, 50 degrees north and south. It is in the interior of continents. Has everyone seen the diagram? Temperate grasslands. We did tropical grasslands, also known as savanna. Now we're doing temperate grasslands. Okay, I'll move on. Fine. So temperate grasslands are between like 35 degrees to 45 to 50 degrees north and south. And it lies in the interior of the equator. So far, what are the three we saw like these climatic conditions which are influenced by these easterlies, correct? We saw climatic conditions which are influenced by easterlies. Now it will be influenced by westerlies. And it lies in the interior. It lies in the interior of the westerlies. Now, annual precipitation here also is low. Like, remember that the rainfall here is also low. It is between 25 to 65 centimeters of rain. Rainfall in this region is low. It is between 25 and 65 centimeters of rain. And temperature is between 18 to 24 degrees. So temperature clearly here is lower. It is much lower than the savanna grasslands. Temperate grasslands, temperature is lower. Now, what is the weather like? Winters are very cold. Very cold. Why? Because it is not only in higher latitude, it is also in the interior. Interior, there is something known as continentality effect. Continentality effect meaning if the more it is in the interior, the more the temperature variation is. So, for example, if you look at a place like Delhi has colder winters than a place like Mumbai. So similar logic, exact same logic. Even the temperate grasslands, winters are very cold. Now, just some names to remember for temperate grasslands. You have prairies in North America, pampas. Prairies in North America, pampas in Argentina, Uruguay, South American regions. In South Africa, it is known as veld. In Hungary, it is known as pustas. And in Russia, it is known as steppes. Australia, it is known as downs. Okay, these all details you'll find somewhere, so I'm not giving you too much time to write it. I'm sure you've done this before. This is just to revise. Okay, so big difference. One of the big differences between prairies versus steppes. In temperate grasslands, prairies North America, steppes in Central Asia and Russia. Big difference is prairies have more rainfall than steppes. Remember that as a difference. Prairies have more rainfall. Prairies have better climate. Okay, prairies have better climate than steppes. Then you have vegetation. Vegetation here is generally without trees. So these are known as pure grasslands. If there is a prelims question asking for which of the following are known as pure grasslands, you will not mark savanna. You will mark temperate grasslands. Why are they known as pure grasslands? Because there are no trees here. And why are there no trees? Because rainfall here is much lower than the rainfall in savanna. Fine? Okay. And the term used for this region is granaries of the world. Granaries of the world or wheat baskets of the world. And the way they manage this is by doing extensive mechanized cultivation. Okay. The way they manage this is by doing extensive mechanized cultivation. Now that we've done interior, let's come to the western part. Western part of this region. Western part of this region is known as Mediterranean climate. Again, keep referring to that diagram. Keep referring to that diagram. That diagram will help you understand how these are located. Which is why I wanted to make sure that you all get the diagram before. Okay. So we've done like just equatorial comes in the center. Then we've done tropical deciduous. Then we've done savanna. We've done desert. We've done temperate. Now we're doing British. Okay. Now we're doing not British. Sorry, this Mediterranean. Now we're doing Mediterranean climate. Okay. Now Mediterranean climate is between 30 to 45 degrees north. Mediterranean climate is between 30 to 35 degrees north. And what is the rainfall pattern? Rainfall pattern is slightly higher than the temperate grasslands, right? So what will it be if it's higher? It is around 45 to 90 centimeters. 45 centimeters to 90 centimeters of rain. Again, like the temperate grasslands, under the influence of westerlies. Westerlies are what cause the rainfall. Okay, westerlies are what cause the rainfall. Now, important difference is that the westerly influence comes during the winters. Okay, westerly influence is during the winters, meaning rainfall is also during the winters. And this is a unique feature. This is a unique feature of Mediterranean only. So remember this. This is a very important fact. If wet and cold winters, the property of wet and cold winters is for only one climatic region. Only one climatic region, which is Mediterranean. Only one climatic region, Mediterranean, has wet and cold winters because westerly influence comes during the winter. Okay. Summers are generally warm and dry. Warm and dry summers, wet and cold winters, unique characteristic of Mediterranean. Unique characteristic of Mediterranean is warm and dry summers, cold and wet winters. Now, because of this temperature characteristic, Mediterranean is very well known for wine making. Because of this, Mediterranean is very well known for wine making. Okay. So what are the regions? What are the regions of the world that have this Mediterranean climate? Obviously, Mediterranean Sea countries, the countries surrounding the Mediterranean Sea. Then you have California, Australia, South Africa. These are all countries that have Mediterranean climate. Okay, and what is the type of vegetation here? You have olives. Europe is known for olives, right? Like Italian cuisine has a lot of olive oil. Okay, Greek olives. These are all like famous for olives. Then there are oak trees. Oak trees in regions like Spain and Portugal. In regions like Spain and Portugal, there are oak trees. And in regions that have less than 50 centimeters of rain, you have herbs. Herbs like rosemary, lavender. Okay. And because of all these fruits and herbs and olives and all of these like types of vegetation, these are known as orchards of the world. Orchards of the world. These are known as orchards of the world. These are known as orchards of the world. Okay. So in this subtropical belt, we have looked at the western margin, which is Mediterranean. We looked at central interior region, which is grasslands. Now we're looking at the eastern margin. Eastern margin is known as China type climate, also known as temperate monsoon. We did tropical monsoon and tropical deciduous. Okay, like slight variant of that, almost similar but slight variant is China type climate. Just refer to the diagram. Like keep referring to the diagram. Any doubts that you have, keep referring to the diagram. That you have tropical deciduous over here, you have temperate deciduous. Again, deciduous characteristic is same, monsoon characteristic is same, everything is the same, only slight variation. So generally in some books they combine the two, and then sometimes you can look at it separately, like your wish. But like there is only like a slight difference between them. Okay, so main difference is that it is temperate region. Temperate region, even here the influence is under onshore trade winds only. Even here the climate is due to onshore trade winds, meaning easterlies. And even here it's deciduous. It is very similar to tropical deciduous, only the types of trees and the amount of rainfall changes slightly. Like whereas in tropical deciduous like India, like Thailand, and like Cambodia and all these regions, the rainfall is like around 150 centimeters, right? In China type climate, rainfall becomes 125 centimeters. And China type, the reason I'm separating it, even though lots of textbooks combine the two, reason I'm separating it into tropical deciduous and temperate deciduous, also known as China type climate, is because in temperate deciduous, there's an important term known as mixed forests, So I thought like you should just know that term. That's why I'm separating it. Known as mixed forests. Mixed forest means that where there is extremely high rainfall, okay, there you find evergreen forests. But if there is slightly lower rainfall, then you have deciduous trees. This is also logical, I feel. This fact is also very logical. If there is very high rainfall, you will have evergreen trees. If there's low rainfall, you will have deciduous trees. And again, any doubts that you're having, keep referring to the diagram. The diagram has the latitudes mentioned, it has the rainfall mentioned, it has the pattern mentioned. You'll be able to follow it easier. Okay, which is why like I'm doing it very quickly, which is why I also feel like the more you revise before coming to the session, the faster it will help you. So mixed forests. And for China type climate, there's a specific characteristic, specialty, which is silk. Like mulberry trees grow in this region. So you have silk because of mulberry trees. Because of mulberry trees, you have silk growing in this region. So let's now come to the next part, okay, which is Laurentian climate. Laurentians, share the diagram. Okay, one sec. Let me try and share that diagram to make it easier for everyone. Fine. Let's. I have sent it. Just make sure you can see it. I've sent it on chat. But otherwise, also just refer to your phone or refer to where it has been sent, and keep looking at it. Keep looking at the diagram while I'm telling you about it. So next is Laurentian type of climate. Laurentian, I'll send the spelling. I've sent it. I sent it on chat. Everyone got it on chat? Okay, on chat I've sent it, just refer to it. It will come as an attachment on chat. So Laurentian type of climate is also known as cool temperate climate. Cool temperate climate, Laurentian comes on eastern margin. Eastern margin, cool temperate climate, also known as Laurentian. This is between 45 and 60 degrees north. and 60 degrees north, known as Laurentian climate. Laurentian climate is like New York, like northern islands of Japan, Siberia, eastern Canada. These are all the regions. 45 to 60 degrees north, eastern margin of continents. Okay. So again, this comes under influence of westerlies. Laurentian climate also comes under the influence of westerlies. So like generally here, like summers are warm, and winters are sub-zero. Winters are very cold. Like, you know, right? In like New York, all these like movies you must have seen that like temperatures fall very rapidly in the winter. And the rainfall in this region is not due to winds. So far, we've been discussing how rainfall is caused by easterlies, by westerlies, and so on. Rainfall in this region is not due to the winds. Rainfall in this region is due to cyclonic effects, temperate cyclonic activity. It is due to temperate cyclonic activity. Cyclones are responsible for the rainfall. And rainfall is generally between 50 to 120 centimeters. Even this region has what is known as mixed forests. Mixed forests, meaning evergreen and deciduous are combined. Where there is high rainfall, we have evergreen. Where there's low rainfall, it is known as deciduous. So we've done eastern margin now. We've done eastern margin of cool temperate. Now let's do central part. Central part of cool temperate, which is known as taiga. Taiga is also known as temperate coniferous forest. Temperate coniferous forest, also known as taiga. Those who are asking for the image to be sent as a link, it's a picture from my own notes. So from my own notes, I don't have a link. Like I can only send the picture, and I've sent the picture to CSB. So check your group, you would have gotten the picture. So now let's temperate coniferous forest. Temperate coniferous forest has another term known as boreal. Again and again, I'm saying that these terms are very important. Boreal spelling I'm sending. So it's known as boreal forest. So this is between 55 to 70 degrees north. 55 to 70 degrees north. The regions it covers is Siberia in Russia, northern Canada, Sweden, Norway, Finland. These areas. Temperate coniferous forest, also known as taiga or boreal. So what is the rainfall here? Rainfall is 25 to 100 centimeters. And effect is by temperate cyclones. Winters here are extremely cold. Like, right, Siberia. Remember, Siberia region is extremely cold. Winters here are extremely cold. Like, they can go up to minus 40, minus 50 degrees. What is the vegetation? Vegetation is obviously coniferous trees. Vegetation here is coniferous trees. Okay. And what are the types of coniferous trees? Coniferous trees are pine, fir, cedar, birch, spruce. All these names are associated with coniferous trees. Pine, fir, spruce, birch, cedar. So this is taiga. Type of vegetation. And like also known as Siberian vegetation. Amongst these, just a fact to remember is that pine, fir, spruce are all evergreen. Pine, fir, spruce are evergreen trees, and cedar is a deciduous tree. Just a small fact. If you remember, you remember. If you don't remember, also it's okay. Okay, we have done. We finished tropical belt. We did subtropical belt. Now we're doing cool temperate belt. We did Laurentian. We did taiga. Now western margin. Western margin is known as British type climate. Western margin, cool temperate climate, also known as British climate. This is between 45 to 60 degrees north and south. 45 to 60 degrees north and south. This is regions like Britain, France, Belgium. These all come under this influence. Now you also have this temperature is largely influenced by westerlies, because western margin temperate region influences by westerlies. Okay, and you also have cyclonic activity. Rainfall here is between 50 to 120 centimeters, and summer temperature is around 20 degrees, 22 degrees Celsius. But winter temperature falls close to zero. Now, an important fact to remember is that just next to British climate, you have Siberian climate. Siberian climate is going to minus 40, minus 50, extremely cold weather, right? This British climate is only going to zero. An important conceptual question is, why is that? Why is it that next to British climate, you have Siberian climate, which is going to zero, but British climate itself, like these Northern California region and all, is only zero? So the main reason for this is maritime effect. The main reason for this temperature difference is something known as maritime effect. Maritime effect is because it is close to the sea, so weather will be moderated. And last is tundra. Tundra is extreme north, like Arctic region. Antarctic region is known as tundra. Tundra, there's a concept known as permafrost. Okay, permafrost are the ice sheets. Okay, like specific areas of these are Arctic, Antarctic, Canada, Scandinavia, northern Russia. Okay, and temperature characteristics are again extremely low, extremely long, cold winters, minus 35, minus 45 degrees. extremely low. And winters can last up to 10 months. Winters can last up to 10 months. Summer is extremely short, only 2 to 3 months. And there is very little vegetation. Very little vegetation because there is not enough heat. So what do you have in this region? You only have mosses, lichens. So these are all the climatic regions. Important things to remember, important facts to remember, and terms are given you. Just make sure that like you use this structure, even if you have not been able to follow the entire class, because class is very quick. I understand if for those who have not revised or not done this before, class may appear to be very fast and you might not have understood. But all of this information is there in GC Leong. All this information is there in GC Leong. If you have any doubts, just refer to the textbook and read it again. Just refer to the textbook, read it again. But what I want you all to do is make this single sheet summary. If you make this single sheet summary, you can answer any question from climate. If you make the single sheet summary, you can answer any question from climate, because you will understand you will not only remember the terms, you will also understand the concept. Easterlies are flowing in tropical region. Temperate region, westerlies are flowing. Mediterranean is in the middle. So in the middle, you will have westerly influence in the winter. Okay. All these concepts you will immediately become very clear if you prepare this summary sheet. So what I want you all to do by tomorrow is read these chapters from GC Leong and prepare a summary sheet like this. If you prepare a summary sheet like this, all questions you'll be able to answer. Okay. So what we'll do for now, for the last like around next 10 minutes is I'll keep posting some questions. Okay. I'll keep posting some questions. I want you all to at least attempt them and see if some of what we've done in this class so far has been useful. It is whether it is helping you like with trying to answer these questions. Let me try and just find the questions. There's one small doubt. I'll answer it just because. So doubt is why are westerlies influencing Laurentian climate? Because Laurentian climate is north of 45 degrees. Laurentian climate is above 45 degrees north. So in this region, you only have westerlies. You do not have easterlies. Easterlies are a tropical phenomenon. Okay. So I've sent a question. Like you have, I didn't send it to everyone. I sent it to one person by mistake. Okay. Yeah, I've sent a question. Okay. I've sent a question. We discussed this. We discussed this question earlier. So just try and tell me what the answer is. So for though unfortunately I see lots of you have answered as C, and this is why you lose marks in prelims. The answer is B. So many of you have answered C. Like those of you who have answered B, correct. B is the right answer. Remember, I said that you have wet winters. You have wet winters because westerly influence in the Mediterranean comes during the winter. Like these types of conceptual questions. See, this is not a very direct question, but if you remember the diagram, if you remember the logic and the structure, you should be able to answer this. Mediterranean is the only climate which has warm and dry summers, cool and wet winters. Okay. Mediterranean is the only climate which has this, which is why I'm saying that doing questions is extremely important. Answer is B for Bombay, because there is no rain during the summer. So try and answer this as well. Northwestern Europe is British type climate. So if you have British type climate, what are the characteristics we discussed for British type climate? And therefore, what should the answer be? A lot of you have answered. I'm just giving you 10 seconds more. Let me see if I can copy paste a table onto Zoom. Okay, so answer is B. For this question, answer is B for Bombay. Okay, and the reason answer is B is like fertilizer, intense using of fertilizer is not a characteristic of British. But what do you have in Northwestern Europe, France, Belgium, Britain? Very high population density. You have high population density. You have fertility. So answer is B. It is not. So like the reason, like we'll keep doing questions. We'll keep doing questions so that you guys like try and get a bit better at this. I hope this question is clear. I'm trying to modify how the question looks so that it becomes clear. So in the next question, you have 3 technical terms and you need to tell me which of those are correct. Okay. This is from physical geography. We did physical geography like till now. And this question, if there are any doubts in that question, I'll explain the processes also. I'll explain the processes. It will be good revision. Okay. So this one, a lot of you have gotten right. So that's very nice to see. The answer is C. Answer is C. Are there any doubts about what these terms mean? If you have doubts, I'll explain quickly. Otherwise, we can move on to more questions. Answer is C. A lot of you have gotten it right, which is very nice. So carbonation, you're right. Carbonation is reaction of carbonate and bicarbonate with minerals. What is oxidation? Oxidation is the addition of oxygen. If you're adding oxygen to anything, it is known as oxidation. So rusting of iron is an oxidation because iron is being converted to iron oxide. What is solution? Solution is when you dissolve something. When you dissolve something. So supposing there was water, like you're dissolving uh, anything into water, then it is called a solution. And let's pick up another question. Again, this is a very logical question. These types of questions you should definitely not get wrong. It's a question from physical geography, very logical question. Okay. Yeah, even this, a lot of you have gotten it right. Answer is D. Answer is D. And reasoning is that if the water, like logic is very clear. If you have higher rate of evaporation, salt will concentrate. Okay, and once it concentrates, you will have more salinity. If enclosed seas are there at the if and we're talking about the tropics, okay, if there's higher precipitation means more water. More water means low salinity. Okay, high pressure means there would be no rain. So that is the wrong reason. Low pressure is what leads to rain. So basically, these line of logic and reasoning, if you can keep using, you'll be able to get the right answers. But yeah, like this question also, a lot of you got it right. Fine. One more question. This is again important because polar vortex has been in the news a lot. Polar vortex, I'll also explain this concept. I'll let all of you attempt the question. Then I'll explain the concept of polar vortex. Polar vortex concept is important. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds more, 10, 15 seconds more to just attempt. But do you understand? Do you understand what I mean now? No matter how much you revision is important, studying is important, learning is everything is important. But if you're not solving questions for prelims, you will not be able to do well. Prelims is all about practicing questions. It is the most important thing for prelims is to practice questions. Even for geography, which you have all done or studied, you must have read the books, you know the sources, you must have read it on your own. Questions are always slightly more challenging. So focus should always be on solving as many questions as possible. And I'll try along with revision to make sure that we do questions together. The more questions we can do, the more like confident, like I think even I become, you become, it helps everyone. So answer for polar vortex question is C, which unfortunately very few of you have got. So I'll explain what is the concept of polar vortex. Okay. So basically, polar vortex is a swirl of low pressure around the poles. In the answer, it is given high pressure. Polar vortex is a low pressure system. Okay, remember that. Again, important fact. Just have to remember this fact. Polar vortex is a low pressure system above the poles. Above the poles meaning above the Arctic Circle. Okay, this low pressure system is around 70 degrees north and south. Okay, low pressure system. And it is a counterclockwise system which is going constantly. Counterclockwise system of very high speed, very cold air. Why is polar vortex in the news? Around 2 years ago, extreme winters during in North America were due to the escaping of the polar vortex. Polar vortex is normally confined to above 66 degrees north. But polar vortex moved southwards. When does polar vortex move southwards? When the low pressure system becomes weak. You have a low pressure system at the poles. If that low pressure system becomes weak, then the polar vortex winds escape and come southwards. If the cold Arctic wind moves southwards into this region, then you have extremely cold weather. So second statement is wrong because it does not always move. It only moves when there is when the low pressure system becomes weak. Fine. Is this like reasoning clear? And third statement is correct because it's a counterclockwise system. Counterclockwise system is present at the poles and it is generally confined above. Okay, is this clear? Is this concept clear of polar vortex? Polar vortex has been asked in the past also. Polar vortex has also been asked for environment questions. Polar vortex is what is also responsible for the Arctic hole, Arctic ozone hole. Okay. Polar vortex is also linked to that concept. It has been in the news. Make sure you read about it. Make sure you read about this concept. Tomorrow we'll start doing landforms. We'll do like erosional, depositional types of landforms and so on. Okay, about winds. I'll quickly do winds and then winds is actually a bigger concept. I thought you must have done this. Okay, fine. So wind is, you have between 0 to 15 degrees north and south, you have what are known as easterlies. Let me find a diagram. And send it. You will understand better. Yeah, this is a very nice diagram. So between 0 to Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, you have what are known as easterlies. Easterlies meaning they come from the east. Easterlies come from the east and they move towards the west. Westerlies come from the west and move towards the east. There's a question on what range of questions will be asked in UPSC. UPSC will ask questions which are tougher than this. Correct. Questions are hard, which is why you need to practice, and which is why we will continue to practice. Okay, so did you see that diagram? That diagram shows the wind patterns. So from 30 degrees north to equator, you have tropical westerlies which are going from east to west and going from the north towards the south. So basically, wind is coming from northeast and going to southwest. And westerlies have the opposite direction. And so what we have is this in the Laurentian climate. You are asking Laurentian, right? Laurentian climate is so far north that there is no easterly. There's no concept of easterly over there. It comes in that 30 to 60 degree belt. Therefore, it is only under influence of westerlies. The latitude will determine what influence it comes under.